Hey everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie, and I am in Vermont. We are starting a new series here at Trips with Angie where I'm going to take you inside the trips I actually take. So in addition to all-inclusive resort tours and cruise ship tours, here on this channel you're going to find these kind of behind-the-scenes videos about how I plan trips for myself. So I hope you'll subscribe to get notified for my upcoming trips. But this trip is about Vermont. So we spent 3 nights in Stowe, Vermont, about a week in the Eden area, visiting a number of places within an hour drive, and then 1 night in Chester, Vermont, which is the filming location of 2 Hallmark movies. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes, where we went, how we planned it. There'll be a link to the blog that includes a map that shows you all the locations and more information about each destination. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the comments, the first pinned comment of this video. All right, let's get started. We started the trip flying into Boston for 2 reasons. 1, it has a non-stop from our home in Tampa, Florida. And 2, we're going to spend a week there after this trip. Don't worry, there'll be a blog and a video about that. So we flew into Boston. We took the first flight of the day, and then we rented a car with Turo. Turo is a website and an app that's similar to Airbnb, but for cars. So car owners list their vehicle. You can rent it directly from them. And the reason we chose to use Turo's is because it saved money. Even with adding the most expensive insurance plan through Turo, we still saved $500 and got a larger car. Now, we opted to pick up the car from its home location, hoping that would give us a little bit more flexibility because we weren't sure of the exact times that we would make it, when our flight landed and by the time we got our bags and headed over there. And it worked great. Plus, it saves a little bit of money than having it delivered to the train station. We landed in Boston, we headed to baggage claim, and then we followed the signs to the rideshare pickup location, which is on the first floor of the central parking garage. Tons of signs. Now, it's a good idea to download Lyft and Uber to your phone if you're going to be headed to Boston. We found that the Lyft option was significantly less expensive than Uber when we were trying to leave and head to pick up the car. So we went, picked up the car, no problem. The app takes you through a checklist of things to do. You take photos of the car, and then away we went on our way to Stowe, Vermont. We chose the Green Mountain Inn in Stowe, Vermont because of its great downtown location. It also had rooms with king beds, which was a little bit rare as I was looking at inns and B&Bs. It had a restaurant on site, a bar on site, larger rooms with sitting areas and desks, as well as an outdoor fire pit. Our first wander down this street, we discovered Stowe Public House, which has a great front lawn area that was filled with people. And then we had dinner at Harrison's. We lucked into a seat on the patio. You have to try their mushroom toast and their burgers, but you definitely want to get reservations. We just got lucky. The next morning, we decided to head out into the Vermont countryside. We stopped at the family restaurant for breakfast and, brunch. I got a turkey sandwich, and it was exactly like a Hallmark moment. Everyone knew each other. It was really fun. Then it was on to Hilm Farmstead Brewery. This had a nice lawn area, picnic tables, as well as a food truck. On our way back into town, we stopped at Moss Glen Falls. This is a very easy hike. It does have a little bit of uphill at the very end, but you're not too far in. And then we went up to Sunset Rock. Welcome to Lazy Girl Hiking. Instead of hiking up from downtown, we are going up the access road to the panoramic point. So this is the overlook, just a short 5-minute walk up the access road. They even have a little spot if you want to make a little campfire. Not sure of the legality of that, might want to check it, but good spot for a picnic nonetheless. This is downtown Stowe. You can walk to the end of Main Street and take Sunset Street up here. Now this trail has a steep ascent, so just know that you are going to be hiking up. It has a pretty steep ascent, and that will take you to Sunset Rock Scenic View, which looks back over downtown and faces west, so you can see the sunset. And then you can also hike off to the Glacier Kettle Hole, which is a hole. Then you could keep going and come all the way up Sunset Rock Trail to the upper overlook panoramic view where we just were, and then come all the way down the road. Now, this would be good for someone like me who is fine going up, but has a really hard time coming down. You could do it the other way. You could walk up the road or drive, have one person drive, and then come down the Sunset Rock Trail if you're better at going down, depending on how much you want to walk and how far you want to go. For our pre-dinner happy hour, we headed to Cork Wine Bar, which is a lovely location, has a fun unicorn wine. It's just down the street from the church. And then for dinner, we ate at Whip, which was at our hotel. The next morning, we wanted to head up the mountain, so we went to the gondola sky ride at Stowe Mountain Resort. This is a huge ski run and resort in the winter, so it's kind of fun to see it in the summer. So at the top, you have a restaurant, bathrooms, and then picnic tables, chairs, and then here you can see the gondola coming up. A lot of hikes start from here, so you can hike all the way back down if you'd like. You can also hike up onto the cliffs if you want to explore more of the upper area here around the gondola. There is a quick service restaurant. You do need reservations because it fills up quickly, but you can just walk up to the bar. After that, we went to Nebraska Sugar Farm. This is a maple syrup sugar house. We met the owner. It is a delight. I highly recommend stopping in, tasting the different grades of syrup. We absolutely took some home. Then on to the Trapp Family Lodge. So this is the Von Trapp family from The Sound of Music. They came here and set up this huge acreage. Their lodge features Austrian specials, as you can see here, Wiener Schnitzel, bratwurst, and sauerkraut. But they have so many activities. I was really surprised at the amount of activities and hiking trails they have available. You do need a permit to hike on their land. They also have a Von Trapp brew house. This is it here. So you head in. It also has picnic tables and a full food menu. The food menu actually was very similar to the one we had on the patio at the Von Trapp Lodge. So you could get the best of both worlds here. And it's a lot of crisp Austrian lagers. This is Alchemist Brewing Company. So they have this beautiful outside area with glass, absolutely terrific beers, especially their sours and pale ales were very, very good. And then this is as we're heading back into Stowe. So Alchemist, and this is Alfie's Wild Ride. This is where you go for nightlife in Stowe. We went during the day, but that's where you want to head. And then, of course, we had to make a laundry stop before we headed up to Lake Eden. On our way to Lake Eden, we stopped at North Country Donuts. We heard about this from a bartender at the Von Trapp Brewing Company. We actually ordered ours at 7 a.m. online to make sure we got all of the best donuts. Definitely worth a stop. Lost Nation Brewing Company is a barbecue restaurant and brewery. It was fine. We had a nice afternoon there, but I wouldn't write home about it. Now, 10 Ben's Beer is definitely worth a stop if you like sour beers. Their beers were fantastic. We loved the pale ales, we loved the IPAs and the sours. And then we made it to Lake Eden. We had an Airbnb cabin right on the lake. One of our excursion days, we headed to the Museum of Everyday Life. It is not hosted, so if you're the first one there, they ask you to turn on the lights. This was a water exhibit. It is a beautifully curated museum. It is also just down the street from Bread and Puppets Theater, so we went to their Sunday afternoon show. It starts with what they call the circus and then moves on to their main performance. It's a mix of modern art and Renaissance fair, I think. On the way back towards Lake Eden, we stopped and got gas and then went to Nick's Snack Shop for a very good set of onion rings. Then we decided to head to Lake Willoughby. So this is the Lake Willoughby shop. So you can head in here and get some tremendous sandwiches. You definitely want to head there as you're heading down to the South Beach. Now the North Beach has a bigger beach area, but this is South Beach. It is absolutely incredible. It feels like you're swimming through a fjord. Then towards the end of our stay, on our way into Burlington, we stopped at 158 Main. This incredible breakfast. You don't want to miss the French toast. So that was a great breakfast at 158 Main, but I bet you're wondering, how did I find and pick that restaurant? Here, let me show you. To start, I looked up the two places we were going between. Then I clicked that little magnifying glass that is under where it says like bicycle 4 hours. You click that little magnifying glass that brings up a search along route screen. And then I just typed in restaurants. Then this added restaurants along the route to my map. So then I could zoom in, I could read the descriptions of all the restaurants, and then I looked for something that was about like 30, 45 minutes along the way, and I found 158 Main. The Beer Fest took place on the beautiful shores of Lake Champlain. It was really a lovely day, but it was very hot. It brought together brewers from all over Vermont. It had a ticket system where you would get punches as you tried different beers. There were food trucks available. There was a live band, and then it's even located next to a creamy stand. So creamy is a Vermont thing, and it's a little bit creamier than a regular soft serve ice cream. Across from our hotel was Mad River Distillers. I definitely recommend a visit. The alcohols were all very good, but the bartenders were making delicious drinks. We headed a little bit further down the square to Burlington Hearth, which was part of American Flatbread, for some delicious pizza. And then we ended the night listening to a beautiful live free concert on the square. And we could not miss visiting America's tallest filing cabinet. So that's it. Our week in Eden, Vermont comes to an end. Now we're heading south to Chester, Vermont. As I mentioned before, has been the filming location for 2 Hallmark movies. And I'm excited to check it out. I think we're going to have lunch at a pie shop. Speaking of Hallmark, that's a Christmas tree farm. If you know, you know. The Fullerton Inn was part of the filming of the Hallmark movie that took place here. And then just down the street is the Southern Pie Cafe. Definitely do not miss. It's a quaint sandwich shop with delicious pies. There was even a singer-songwriter playing when we went there. I highly recommend the curry chicken salad sandwich. And then I also had a piece of their bourbon pecan pie, which was amazing. So we decided to change plans. I feel like we saw everything we wanted to see in Chester, and we were going to be in Brattlesboro for dinner tonight anyway. So we canceled our B&B in Chester, and now we are headed to Brattlesboro, and we got a hotel there for the night. Things change. We had to stop at Vermont Country Store on our way out of Chester to take in all of the delights. It's like a huge Cracker Barrel gift shop. When we got to Brattlesboro, we were happy to find that Hermit Thrush, our favorite brewery from the Vermont Brewers Fest, has a tap room there. So we enjoyed their sours, and then we headed to the River Garden Marketplace, which is a really cool space with individual little shops on one side and a cool bar with a great beer list on the other. So that is it for Vermont. We are on our way back to Boston to return the car and start the Boston half of our adventure. So that video will be coming soon. The last night we just met up with some family for dinner, nothing too exciting, and had a good night's sleep at the Holiday Inn Express. The Holiday Inn Express does have the Saxton Distillery right in its backyard. It's not open on Sundays, but if you're there for any other night of the week, you'll definitely want to check that out. I hope you really enjoyed this series on Vermont. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. And of course, don't forget to check out the blog that links to where everything is, the whole map that I made, and more details. Thanks. So that's it. That's our week in